All right. Well, let's rock and roll again, boys.
Go.
From the top.
From the top. Here we go. Hello, and welcome to the Rock and Roll Podcast. I am your host, John Harris. On my right-hand side is my right-hand man, Gabriel. Hey. Today on the Rock and Roll Podcast, we have War. They've got a new album called Prisoners. In the middle of a pandemic, you just sneezed all over me.
Yep.
This is ridiculous. Which is released on August 7th via Bungalow Records and Universal. Right now I'm being joined by Ben and Bobby to share some more information about what the boys have got going on. So, boys, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Absolutely great to have you boys on. Truth be told, this is the second time we're doing it, so this will be the best. Stop sneezing all over me. This is the pandemic. You're getting droplets all over me. I'm a prisoner over here, guys. This guy's trying to kill me, which is not one of the song titles, but it's working. So this will be the best interview ever because this is the second time we're recording it because Skype didn't record the call. But yeah, boys, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely great to have you on. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this first track. There's a couple of tracks that we were set to chat about for the album. They've got music videos, and I believe you mentioned that there is a third one that just got recently released. So we can chat about that as well. But we have 6 Kings, and I checked the band photo to see if you guys were the 6 Kings, but there's only 5. So I'm guessing it's just a play on words because it also looks like Vikings. So is this Viking related, or is this more of a story related to a mythological 6 kings?
And when I was writing the lyrics, it's about war and sending your kids off to like war or to battle, and your sons, daughters, brothers, all that stuff. And that's pretty much what I was writing lyrically wise while writing this. And usually it's only 5 of us, and usually when we ever play home shows, there's this kid that we invite up on stage with us called Edward Thompson, and we initiate him to be like our 6th king whenever we're playing the show. And sometimes, like when we have other shows, we'll get a random audience member to come out there and rock with us to close out the show, and then we'll be like, "This is our 6th king."
Okay, very cool. Why this gentleman in particular most of the time?
So he's a kid that I kind of got to know a while back, and he was I think he was 10 years old when he was battling Hodgkin's lymphoma, and it was like a long battle, and he lost all his hair, and cancer will ruin people's lives. I know everybody in this world has probably known someone or been around someone who's been affected by cancer in some way, shape, or form. So this kid made a full recovery from Hodgkin's lymphoma, and he was only 10 years old when he was diagnosed. So, just that courage and, having to go through that at such a young age, we're definitely big fans of his, for just fighting through that and staying positive. And, he likes coming out to the shows, and we try to, make his night special and bring him up on stage. So that's kind of the story behind that. But yeah.
Well, there's always I don't want to call it a special thing, but I mean, when kids are suffering from that sort of thing, it certainly takes on a different tone.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's a horrible thing because, at the age of 10, you're not supposed to have any care in the world except for, who you're going to hang out with and what you're going to eat for dinner. That's all you got to worry about, So if you're dealing with something that tragic and horrible, that's kind of like takes over your life, that's not fun for anybody. It's a horrible thing to go through.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, something you mentioned was, sending people off to war, sending kids off to war. So is this more of like a call to action against draft situations, or what somebody might be thinking as a parent sending their child off to war?
Pretty much like along those lines of like drafts and everything. But then sometimes, people will go into nobody really wants to go off into war and everything like that. I mean, nobody's really that pumped up to be. I don't know, maybe nobody I've never met, but because of debts or you don't know what you're gonna do with your future and stuff like that. So that's where people will end up going into there because there's no, there's no safety net or no foundation for them to go off and to do anything else. So instead, they're going off to fighting these wars. They're like risking their lives like for a buck, and it's just something that like I thought about because I got a lot of friends who are in the military, and like I'm not going to mention any names, but not majority of them don't like being there. So that's why I thought about those lyrics, and I just put that in there because I don't think that any parent really wants their kid to go fight off into war and stuff like that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, speaking of those shows and bringing people up on stage, it looks like the music video is showing a live performance. And a lot of times bands will hire a crowd or bring friends in to do tight shots to make it look like they're actually playing a show. But something tells me this is actually a real show.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. That definitely wasn't staged by any means. That was actually the last show we played. And that was on January 3rd. And we decided we were going to film the entire show just for our own purposes and maybe release it as a DVD later on at some point. But then we kind of saw the footage and it was like, we were amazed by how awesome it came out. We're like, you know what, we could probably compile the highlights of this set and turn it into a music video. And the director, the guy who filmed the show was on board with that, and he made a phenomenal video for Vikings, and we're all super pumped with how it came out.
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've watched a live video and I'm like, that's not the part of the song that you're playing, and it's like it ruins it for me. But it's highlights of obviously different songs being played, but I'm not once distracted at all by that.
Right.
Yeah, I think he did a really good job of it because if you ever get the chance to see us live, we're very like high energy band live, and I think that's where we really excel. As opposed to the studio. We enjoy being in the studio, but live it's like a whole nother beast. And we just kind of wanted to put that into a video because that's where War makes their money, I guess, is live. It's just a whole different story out there.
Mm-hmm. Now, you mentioned potentially making a DVD. Has that been called off, or is that something that is still in the plan for this year, specifically because there's a lot of people who might be looking for that kind of home entertainment?
I'd say that it's on hold right now. We definitely do have all the footage and everything, so we think that music video was just a good staple for it right now. But once we get back out there and start doing more shows and everything, I mean, we definitely may use some of the footage from this as like highlights throughout the tour that we may have in the hopefully near future.
Okay. Very, very cool stuff. Now, when it comes to the other track that we wanted to chat about today, Predator, very different music video. This is I don't know if you would call it like a performance music video, the Abandoned Space metal band music video, but very cool stuff. I think it fits the music very well. Maybe tell us a bit more about this. It looks like an old factory or something. Like, where did you guys find this old factory?
The director of that music video, his name is Justin Beasley. He actually found that location, and while we were doing it, it's actually interesting because while we were doing the video, there was like an abandoned part of this warehouse. But then if you go inside, there's like bathrooms, and then there was like some people doing yoga, and then you keep going, and then it was like a wedding ceremony going on. And then there was a shopping market too. And we're like, okay, where are we? And then next thing you know, we go back there. We're like blaring metal during like this yoga session in this wedding.
Namaste and kill people.
Right.
The people trying to meditate in the room next door, I don't think they were too happy. But you know what? I think that meditation through metal is the best, release that anybody can get. Go mosh,
Yeah.
That'll relax.
Yeah, that'll get it out of your system. Or that pent up aggression.
Exactly.
Yep.
And it also produces a challenge to all the yogis out there who think that they are good at meditation. Will try meditating through blistering heavy metal.
Exactly. Yeah.
Very, very cool stuff. I think is that sunglasses the drummer is wearing? That's cool. That's a nice touch.
Yeah, I'm glad you like that.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Got some stunners going on there. Now, something else you guys had mentioned. Looks like same gentleman made the music video. Caged just, I believe, came out more recently. So we can chat about Caged as well.
It actually premiered that today through Metal Injection. And we're super excited to get that out to everybody. And that's a little bit more of there's more of a storyboard. It's kind of a brutal video without actually showing too much, but it's implied brutality, I guess. But yeah, that was a lot of fun, man. That was probably my favorite video to shoot. We were in this warehouse, and I think we filmed it in November, and it was just freezing cold. And, we had this generator to power all the lights, and the lights were flashing, and it was just crazy, man. And then, the storyboard, it came out real nice. It looks, I'm very happy with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it opens up really creepy. Like, I don't even know if I want to watch this or not.
Yeah. It looks like it's like an episode of Dexter initially, right? Like,
yeah, basically. Now, we chatted about Vikings, Six Kings. When it comes to Predator and Caged, are they related at all? Like the Predator takes the person or whatever kind of predator it is in this case, and then they're caged. Are they related at all?
I think the only relation that they have is that, the topics is pretty much the topic at hand. Predator is literally what it's about. It's about a sexual predator. And then in Caged is pretty much being, when I initially wrote it like pretty much being stuck inside concentration camps. All your freedoms are stripped from you. You can't really do anything. You're barely hanging on. You don't even know why this is all happening to you. And you pretty much, you're just questioning why me, right? Same predicament when you're dealing with a sexual predator. These are issues, these are topics that I wanted to bring to the surface because it's a lot of people know about this but don't want to talk about it. So I want to make it a conversation starter, even though it's something that you want to kind of try to sweep under the rug. This is something that we're going to put in your face.
Yeah. I mean, something that I kind of wrote down there was that kind of an overarching theme that you wanted to write about, kind of a why me, or what swept under the rug? My name's Bobby. Check this out. I'm gonna lift up the rug, and we're gonna talk about this.
Everything that's going on right now with this whole Pizzagate Epstein thing. This is I wrote these lyrics before this was even brought up to national news and stuff like that. Nobody was really talking about this, and I see the hashtag Save the Children and everything, and I wrote about these issues, and we're not trying to sugarcoat it. We're not trying to hide the fact that this is a problem. Sometimes it's your closest friend. Sometimes it's a family member. Sometimes it's just somebody who you're intimately involved with, and we just need to put a stop to this. We need to just bring it to that talking point where everybody knows about it and you can't hide from it.
Yeah. No, you mentioned especially online predators and children and whatnot. And obviously, as a concerned parent,
right,
I've been let known through various news media outlets, local police and whatnot, that taking advantage of children has been on the rise during this time because kids are at home, these predators are at home, and it's a conversation I never wanted to have with my.
Something that we do have to have. It's right now, especially with all the internet access that these kids can get into now. I mean, there's nothing that we can talk about anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, it sounds like a lot of this album was written before what we'll just call 2020 happened. Has the music taken on a new meaning, especially with recent events?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's just even more relevant now. I think we finished recording the album, I want to say in November of 2019, and all this stuff happened, and it's literally everything we wrote about is happening in real life, and that's unfortunate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I guess one of my questions was going to be, has it just always been happening? But like you said, we don't want to talk about it. And now all of a sudden,
just starting to come to the surface now because, everybody doesn't have anything better to do. I mean, every time you turn around, with the news or like social media, all this information and all these things, especially with, agendas and propaganda being in the way, it's like, it's really hard to like really get to the source, the real information, because everybody's using it to work for them instead of actually telling us what's really going on. But then in the midst of all that, some stuff gets leaked, just like all this, Epstein Pizzagate stuff, and even with this presidential election coming up, everything is just coming out right now. And we spoke about this before. You're right; it's always been going on, but now it's like just blam in your face, and everybody's talking about it, which I enjoy and I love. But it's sad that it had to come to this point.
Yeah, well, I think in conjunction with that, what I'm noticing is, Pete mentioned trying to make things work for them. Everybody seems to have an agenda in it rather than trying to just bring I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. Instead of just trying to stop it, work towards stopping it so that we can become a more united humanity. The agenda thing is getting stronger, I think.
Right. But hey, like I said, we're obviously we know what's right and what's wrong, but what we do is we don't really pick a side. We just pick the topic and we'll write about it, and then we'll leave the people to decide. I mean, but of course we know what's right, we know what's wrong. With like our song Sirens and everything like that. That song is about police brutality. And I remember one time we played a show, we actually got booed for saying, hey, the song is about police brutality. It was like, okay, we thought that would be, we thought nobody wanted that, but apparently some people out there don't mind it.
There's some comedian had a bit once about police officers just get off on the movie Roadhouse. They just whip it out and just start jerking off to the movie Roadhouse. It had this whole bit about it. And it always kind of just stuck in the back of my mind. And speaking of tough conversations, I mean, what am I supposed to tell my son about whether to trust police or not?
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, that's all these artists, and this is like these are real life issues that everybody of course not everybody's going through it, but the world is seeing it. And even though it's from the comfort of your own home, it still makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's the worst thing I think somebody can say right now is, well, it's not happening to me. Well, it is. And if you don't feel that it's happening to you, then you're disconnected from humanity.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. I think there's something that everybody can be doing, to kind of get change going in the right direction, in some way, shape, or form. I think we all need to make some kind of effort.
Mm-hmm. Now, with regard to the otherwise lockdown COVID situation, I see there's a lockdown series available on the YouTube channel, and I'm always curious about what a lot of bands are doing during this time, online shows or acoustic sets or a mixture thereof, or even fan videos where they put videos together from fans who are in lockdown. But this is unique, so go ahead and tell us about this war lockdown series that you guys did.
Initially, during the at home, we were, respecting the guidelines, the CDC guidelines to, stay home, stay 6 feet apart, wear your mask whenever you go out, and everything like that. I didn't really practice anything, for the first few months. Then we're like, okay, after the show, we felt like we probably was losing a little bit of momentum, but we were supposed to perform so many times, and that just got canceled due to COVID. So what I did was, I went to each band members' homes and interviewed them to pretty much give our audience, give our fan base a little insight on who we are individually, not just as the musician, but as the person as well. We also did rig rundowns, our styles of playing, pretty much what we have been doing during COVID. And when I did that, I haven't seen these guys in months. So those questions, there was nothing scripted or anything. We just sat down and had a genuine conversation. So everything was everything was, genuine. So it wasn't, just like, scripted and everything. And then, it was just a good time, like being able to go to their house. And this my friend Simi Cole, Simi Vision, he did the whole documentary series for us. He did like a little 4 episode thing where we're putting it all together eventually. But right now, you can just go on our YouTube channel and see like each individual episode with Ben and David, Hunter, and Phil.
Okay, very cool stuff. Now, I guess since you mentioned, getting a little bit deeper, rig rundowns and the person behind the guitar, so on and so forth. Did you find that resonated with the fans a little bit deeper than just the music?
Yeah, I think people. Yeah, go ahead. So you can go ahead.
I was going to say, I hope so. A lot of people, it was hearing people saying that they were waiting for the episodes was actually pretty exciting to me. And I was like, all right, cool. People actually really want to get to know us, get to see who we are. And, you can actually see that people really were interested in the person, not just us being a group together, but just who we are individually.
Absolutely. Very, very, very cool stuff. Now, with a lot of extra free time otherwise, have you guys been working on anything else behind the scenes, like maybe doing some writing that you now have more time to do?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, we've been writing. We never really stopped writing, ever. It just kind of, for me, music is something that I feel, you have to feel it. And sometimes you're super motivated and you have some great ideas that come out. And then sometimes you're just kind of struggling with some writer's block, and that's okay also. But, I was writing for the second album, while we were still in the studio doing the first album, so I'm just always trying to write stuff and put things down. But yeah, I've been teaming up with our other guitarist, David, a lot, and our bass player, Phil. They've been coming over every now and then and, working on riff ideas. And even Bobby came over one time and did some vocals for one of our newer songs. So we're just using this time to write new stuff and, work on the second album.
Okay. I guess without giving away too much, what can we maybe expect from the second album so far?
Just an improvement on what we, it'll be a lot more polished. It'll be a lot more aggressive and brutal. And it'll be a little bit more focused than the first one. I think the first one was just, it was we didn't really know what we were doing. And it was a lot of raw energy, and that's great. You'll still get that raw energy, but it'll just be a little bit more, we've improved at our instruments. Bobby's improved as a lyricist. And we've just gotten better at songwriting in general. So I think it'll be a big step up from the first one, I think.
Okay. Very, very cool stuff. Well, boys, I don't believe I have any more questions for you, but is there anything that I missed that you wanted to bring up?
Yeah. So we premiered a new music video today on Metal Injection. We talked about it earlier, but go check that out. And, comment on the video. Let us know what you guys think of it. And then also check out our album Prisoners. It's you can buy physical copies on our website, warband.com. And we also have some really cool merch bundles available for purchase if you guys are into that. And that's about it. And hopefully see everybody on the road in 2021.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. Well, boys, thank you so much for coming on to the Rock Metal Podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.